to talk about the important work of Emmanuel Academies.
The vision really surrounds itself in developing a new generation of church leaders that will develop vital congregations, flourishing congregations. And there are three aspects to that. One is they will have easy accessibility to their study, high quality education. We'll see more about the partners. It's going to be very low cost in comparison to what the past has been. And it will be done in a congregational context. The other thing I would say about it is our students, I like to call it, they're going to be involved in an intersection of learning with different cultures, languages, ethnicity, as all a part of this academy that we're developing here.
You know, the bottom line of what you're saying is that ministry still matters in congregations, and that congregations are really charged to raise up leaders.
Well, we found out that many of the congregations don't have pastors. Even in the ELC, maybe 1,000 pastors short. Well, the fact we've got students, so we've got a growing field of new candidates, and I think once it starts, we get some momentum. We're going to see, I think, a groundswell of pastors because the church has a great need. And now Howard will say more about this, about nearly 17 students that are coming down the horizon.
How many?
17 students, Rick. And we'll see that in the year. The other thing I would say that's exciting about this is that these students, again, represent a new background. I say that especially in terms of Emmanuel Lutheran Church. When we brought Pastor Jose Lebron on at Emmanuel Community Church, he came out of the Dominican Republic and talked about his educational needs and even some struggles to get an education. But we've been able to simplify that for our students today. The other thing I think is really exciting is the quality of our partners. Sioux Falls Seminary in, obviously, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, with the Luther House of Study, our Seminary of Affiliation, which is Luther Seminary in St. Paul. And then with the bachelor's component, still Concordia University out of Chicago. And a new discovery that Howard had was Palm Beach Atlantic University. So in other words, we're bringing kind of a hybrid of schools together in a new model. I think you used to like to call it a new mousetrap of innovation in terms of education.
Trying to build a better mousetrap for theological education.
One other thing would be our faculty mentors. You are one of them. We have now identified 3 faculty members here, meaning Dr. Blees, also Pastor Clay Schmidt, who's in Wisconsin, but he's well aware of our program and rooted in it.
Former president of Southern Seminary.
The provost of Lutheran Theological Southern Seminary. And then one of our local pastors up in Lehigh Acres, Pastor John Carrera, and he also will be one of the faculty members that will then dovetail, because we have 3 mentors for each student, faculty members, also local pastors as mentors, and some personal mentors that will be alongside.
What excites you the most about what's happening right now at Emmanuel Academies?
The most exciting thing is the number and diversity of our existing students and those students that are enrolling to start with us in September. It is just incredible.
So tell us, we've got our first MDiv. We got some in the 5-year program, but the first MDiv student who's going through candidacy, who signed up at Sioux Falls Seminary in the Luther House of Studies, Mary Osen. Can you say a word about her?
Yes, I'd like to share my screen with you. On your screen, you should see an image of Mary Osen. She, as you said, Rick, was our first seminarian. She was called more than 15 years ago. She had this internal call, and it was validated externally. But because of cost of seminary, the way seminary education was structured, and the fact that she had to continue to work full-time to support her family, traditional seminary was not an option for her.
Right.
As we launched our program a year ago, she was the first one to enthusiastically raise her hand to say, please, I want to join you. Here are the 5 students that have just completed our spring semester.
Okay, there's Mary that you were just talking about, right?
Mary Osen is on the screen. And then we have Pastor Edward Makara from Rwanda.
Now tell us about him, because I think he was the student that met Pastor Lee, Frank Lee, when he was in Rwanda. This is the student that he met, right?
That is correct. The story is just incredible how this whole Emmanuel Academies and our work is really spirit-led and driven. Of course, as we know, Pastor Frank felt the Spirit calling him to participate in a global mission trip to Rwanda, where he had the pleasure of meeting Pastor Edward. Pastor Edward conveyed that he had always dreamed of a real seminary education, but that he could not leave his family in Rwanda and he could not leave his community. And Pastor Frank, of course, being the opportune gentleman that he is, said, hey, I think I have a solution for you.
Thank you, Frank, for that. All right.
Can I add something to this?
Yeah.
Because we all had a chance, when I say all, you and Howard and I, to go to Rwanda. And what was parallel to that was the discovery of these I call it an extraordinary witness that these young pastors have alongside a very difficult history that occurred, 25 years ago in Rwanda. So they are, I would say, storytellers that bring a whole new dimension to our church at this time.
And these are just 4, Howard, but we're expecting quite a few more students to step up in Rwanda, aren't we?
That is correct. So we had 5 students complete the spring semester,
Okay.
and they are continuing onward. And then we have a total of 12 that are beginning work starting in the fall for their Master of Divinity.
This is so exciting to see the faces, huh?
And some of these faces we know, right? Some of them might be people we have not met yet, but I bet in our congregation, again, especially some of these on the top row, Howard, I think these are members of Emmanuel that we know really well.
That is absolutely correct. Of course, you recognize both Frine and Anna.
Yeah.
They are members of our 5-year leadership program, which includes a bachelor's degree and the master's degree. They have both have completed a year of undergraduate work and are now beginning their graduate work on top of their undergraduate work that they're continuing. You'll recognize Anne-Marie Gomez, who is a member of the Mooring Line Drive congregation.
Right.
You'll recognize Julio Ruiz, who has been active in Emmanuel Community Church and plays guitar in their band. And then you'll also recognize definitely the name and quite possibly the face of Anna LeBron, Pastor Jose's daughter. Anna lives in Chicago, has been called, and between work and life has never had the chance. We're able to bring the program to her and for her to learn theology, pastoral formation, to become a pastor, and we're thrilled to welcome
I know
her.
Jose is thrilled that her picture is up there, that she has signed up for this program. And who are the? We've got a lot of the other names and faces here are all over the country, aren't they?
That is correct. In the bottom row, these are faces and names that I don't expect you to recognize. We have 2 out of the 7 are here in the Florida Bahamas Synod. We have 1 who is out in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who is an alum of the TEAM program and who wants to continue his theological education. Yes, that's Pastor Alvaro. And then, given the success of the program in Rwanda and the Lutheran Church of Rwanda's excitement about the growth of the 4 that are already in, they have nominated 4 additional students to remain in Rwanda, but participate in our program with local pastoral leadership, our faculty mentorship, and their faith formation and growth.
I want to pick up on that growth notion because some people might be a little confused, looking like these are already pastors that have achieved their Master of Divinity, but they've been serving in congregations. But now, for the first time, have a chance with Emmanuel Academies to actually get their Master of Divinity degree.
I think this is the most exciting picture for me because when you say 17, that seems like an abstract number, but now you see the faces, you get a sense of where Emmanuel Academies is going.
Dr. Pat Goodyear is the chairman of our board, and we have George Wardenberg and Mike Hansen, who are what I refer to as our external directors, members of the Emmanuel congregation, but with years of experience, exposure to different aspects of education and theological education. And we're thrilled to have their leadership and their guidance and their emotional and financial support that have brought Emmanuel Academies from where we were, which was just a dream,
not so long ago,
to an actual reality where we've got multiple programs. We have, as you've seen, phenomenal students, and we are being embraced by the Florida Bahamas Synod and by the ELCA as well as a valid and worthy academic program for the Lutheran community.
Yes,
I think it's key, too, that all of these leaders on the board have said they're so excited about investing in people rather than just buildings, because a lot of the cost has been in putting buildings up that are not effectively used anymore. So we're oriented around the lives of new leaders.
So many of us think of outcome in terms of money for money, but this isn't the way this works. The dividend of investing in Emmanuel Academies is far greater than any of us will ever know or ever see. I know that it will be blessed. This is spirit-led. Where can you get so much energy and so much happiness and so much gratification out of a gift than to give to the church for the promotion for the church and for the extension of the kingdom? I just don't know.
If we're going to ask about the immediate future, a couple of things that I would say to you, and one is certainly to keep praying for this venture. It's a venture that I say with some bold humility to it, because we're determined to move forward with the help of God on this. So certainly be prayerful. The other thing would be to become more informed. This is a step in that direction now, because as I said, Rick, we've really, for 10 years, there's a backdrop here, and we've done a lot of work to try to bring it to the congregation. But now we've got some really exciting news. I mean, 17 students.
it's real now.
It's real. Exactly. It's real. The other thing I would say is that, I'm learning a little bit about organizational development. Didn't study much of it in seminary, I'll tell you, but part of that has to do with the different levels of organization.
Right.
I would still say in many regards that we're in the infancy stage.
Okay.
When you're in the infancy stage of an organization developing, you need certain things. And one of those, if it's a mother nursing the child, they need the milk. We need the nurturing of financial support at this time. I can be rather specific about that because we need $1.5 million. We're praying for that to sustain our first 5 years. And that has to do with ensuring scholarships and continuing the operations for the next 5 years. So that is a goal, $1.5 million. And we hope that you would consider that investing in the lives of these people. And what's exciting about that, Rick, is I heard before, as we were looking at how a pastor affects the lives of others, one of the statistics says that a pastor touches, get this, 10,000 lives over their call.
Right.
Now, if you do a little of the math on that, let's just use that as an
just
example.
do the math on that.
Do the example. If one pastor maybe has the blessing of touching 10,000 lives over the period of the call, we've got, let's say, 17. That is 170,000 lives that we are being a part of in terms of the investment into this program.
And we're hoping to double that number by next year.
That's
It's not to maintain just at 17. The bottom line is, Steve, ministry does matter.